Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you and a good day to all my students. This is my fourth video for organic chemistry. My name is Einstein Pillai Sankaran. I have prepared this video for those students who are taking chemistry IGCSE 0620 or 0654. Welcome to my class. Today, we will continue to learn about alkene. This is our first lesson for alkene. So, in my previous video, there are three top questions that was left for you to ponder and answer. So I hope by now you'll be able to find out what are those three top questions, as well as the answer for them. So the first one is, why are alkanes generally unreactive? Number two, why cracking alkane in the industry? And number three, why incomplete combustion in alkane could cause danger for humans? So if you are ready, let us check today your answers with our answer in the board, and let us see how far we have learned together. The first one, alkane are saturated hydrocarbon with a single carbon-carbon bond and carbon-hydrogen bond. These bonds are strong and are difficult to break. So as we all know, all alkane having single carbon bond. Each of these carbon atoms are bonded with another carbon atom or with the hydrogen. So it is very difficult to break the bond. However, alkane do react with halogen such as chlorine or bromine in the presence of ultraviolet light. These are called substitution reactions. So this is only the reaction that usually happen for alkane. Okay, so I hope you are correct. So why cracking alkane in industry? So number one, that is coming back to our topic today, that we want to learn alkenes. Alkenes are only obtained by cracking petroleum or by cracking alkanes. So when we crack the alkane, we can get alkene. So probably you remember in the previous video, we have done that. So this is an example here. So if you crack this large hexane, you will get an ethane and, you'll get a butane and ethene. So this is an example. We're going to do some example later in the board together. Second reason why we want to do cracking, because through cracking, we can get smaller type of monomer. Okay, so for example, our need for petrol is greater than our need for diesel or lubricating oil. Through cracking, diesel or lubricating oil can be converted into petrol. Okay, so this is one example. Another example, short chain alkenes such as ethane and propene are used as a starting material for making ethanol and plastic. And this also is a product from cracking. So by cracking a very large molecule, we can produce smaller molecule, and this smaller molecule can be used for other purposes. So this is the very important part. Okay, my last question from the previous video. Why incomplete combustion in alkane could cause danger for humans? So number one, it produces carbon monoxide. Okay, So as we all know, complete combustion produce carbon dioxide and water. Incomplete combustion produce carbon monoxide and water. So this carbon monoxide is colorless. You can't see carbon monoxide. It is odorless. There is no smell, and of course, tasteless gas. You can't taste the gas. All right. So when too much carbon monoxide is in the air, your body will replace the oxygen in your red blood cell with this carbon monoxide, and then this can lead to serious tissue damage or even death. So this is the main problem with carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide poisonous is very dangerous, as you can't detect it by just looking it or smelling it, and it can cause fatal to human. Okay, so guys, for those who are attending my lesson for the first time, you may ask, where is my previous lesson? So guys, I have many lessons. Okay, I like to show to you that you can subscribe to my channel. Okay. Okay, this is one of them. Okay, organic chemistry, alkene lesson 1. So the 3 questions just now, which was discussed in the lesson today, it is from this lesson. And I have few other lessons before this. As you can see, if you go to my channel, you can subscribe. I have for organic chemistry lesson 2, organic chemistry lesson 1. I also have other lessons for other topics like air and water, sulfur compound. So there are many videos there. You can learn many things, and all these are for the bondings. I hope it will be helpful for you to study and prepare for your IGCSE exam for those who are taking 0620 chemistry or 0654 coordinated science. Okay, let us continue with our learning today for alkene. So what is alkene? Let us see. Okay, so these are my videos. There are many more. Please subscribe it. Thank you. So the first question, how alkene is produced? Probably we have heard many times, cracking, all right? So guys, cracking is done by 2 methods. One is passing the petroleum fraction, the long chain of carbon, over a catalyst. Okay, so it's known as catalytical cracking. And we use a catalyst like aluminum oxide or silicon 4 oxide at a high temperature, about 600 Celsius. Now, there is another type of cracking. It is known as steam cracking. It is even a higher temperature. It's about 800 Celsius, but there's no catalyst used. Okay. So the most common one is the first one, and it is usually asked in our exam question. Okay. So now, this is an example, and we want to do this in our board. Okay, let's do it. So if you have a long chain of alkane, how you want to do cracking process? So guys, so let us look at the whiteboard here. If you have any long chain, an example, you have decane, C10. H22. So through cracking, we can produce one alkane and another short alkene. So an example, we can produce a pentane, and another alkene. How to find out? You just remove. From carbon 10, there's already carbon 5. So another carbon 5 is here. From 22 hydrogen, we already use up 12, so making up another 10 hydrogen. So guys, this is one of the ways. You don't really need to memorize them. Now, can I have other type of alkene or alkene? Yes, you can. An example, I'm using the same example. So same cracking. So this time, for example, I use here C4, and this is H10. So what is left would be from 10 we have used 4, we have C6, H, B12. Okay, can I have another one? Yes, you can. So I'm going to use the same example. C10, H22. So this time, I'm making, let's say, even smaller. So we have ethane. What is left? C8. H is, you can see 16. So guys, these are all examples of alkene. Am I right? So we form, for example, C5H10, C6H12, C8H16. All these are alkene. Over here, alkene. Now, of course, in some time, we can even produce an alkane and hydrogen gas. Example in this case, this is C10H22. Okay. So we produce C10 H20 plus H2. So this is an example, although it is not very common. So just give you an idea. Can cracking an alkane produce hydrogen? Yes, it will produce one alkene and one more of hydrogen. Okay. Now let us continue with our PowerPoint today. So guys, you don't need to memorize. You just try out with the paper every time. You can learn. Okay. Now, so what is alkene? So all alkene contain the carbon-carbon double bond. At least must contain one. So this is the main differences between alkane and alkene. So probably in the previous video, you have seen many times that we don't have an alkene with one carbon. Why? Because we need at least 2 carbon to make this bonding. Okay. Now, so any molecule that contain carbon-carbon double bond is described as unsaturated. Thus, alkene are called unsaturated hydrocarbon. So, can you think of another hydrocarbon? Any one of you? Can you try to think any other hydrocarbon? So, we have learned alkene. This is one hydrocarbon. Is there any other hydrocarbon? So, guys, now this is the first 3 members of the alkene homologous series. So, I want to teach you, just like I teach you before. You don't need to memorize. Okay. So let us see how we can draw this. Okay, let us see how we can draw and come up with the formula of alkene without memorizing it. So we're going to start with 2 carbon, all right? With 2, okay? 2 carbon. Then we can try 3. Of course, we can try with 4, okay? So you don't really need to memorize. Remember, the key point is they must have at least 1 double bond. So I'm going to draw the carbon here and another carbon. I will draw a double bond between both of them. So now, as usual, we know each carbon can have 4 bonding. So one, 2, 3, 4. So now this is complete for this carbon. Now I'm going to do the same for this carbon. Okay, so you can see the formula is 1, 2, carbon is 2, hydrogen is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is how we're going to do for all the alkenes. They must have at least one of the carbon must have a double bond. Now we're going to draw the next one for carbon 3. So we're going to draw say 1, 2, 3. So at least one of these carbon must be double bond. So let me say I choose this. Okay, so same rule, all the carbon must have 4 bonding with hydrogen. 1, 2. Okay, 3, 4. So in this case, it has 2 bonding with hydrogen and 2 bonding with carbon. So it's complete. Now let us move for this carbon. So I'll draw hydrogen for you. 1, 2, and 3. So I can take 1 more. How about this carbon? Oh, it has only 1 bonding, so I can draw 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here. So you can see now it is complete. So let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the formula would be C3, it's 6. Now in the same manner, we can even do with the 4 carbon. So I'm going to draw 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of these bonds, either any one of them, this one must have a double bond. So remember the same rule, each carbon must have 4 bonding. We already have 2, so 1 and 2. For this carbon have 1 and 2 and 3, so we can draw 1 and 3. For this carbon, it have only 1 and 2, so you can draw another 2 for them. For this carbon have only 1, so you can draw 1, 2, and 3. So let us calculate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the formula would be C4H8. So guys, these are the techniques that we're going to use to understand and draw alkene. We no need to memorize the formula of alkene. By just drawing every time and expressing your arts, you can learn the sequence. Okay, so let me go to the last PowerPoint for today. Okay, now, so you can see the first one, the name is ethene. Probably you know. The second alkane we have in the family is propene. The third alkene in the family is butane. So guys, take note, although it is first alkene, it is not with carbon number 1. It has 2 carbon, all right? Because it must always have a double bond. So the next one is propane and butane. So we don't have alkene with 1 single carbon because it can't form a double bond. Okay, so with this, I hope you're able to understand a little bit of the sequence. And I give you one question for today. My last question is today. Okay, so you should be able to do this. Try to fill up the molecular formula for 2 carbon, 3 carbon, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 by your own self. Try to fill up the formula, then try to draw the formula. So guys, some of you can do the formula first and then draw. Some of you can draw the formula and then come out with the molecular formula. Either way, it is correct. There is no rule for this. So I leave it to you whichever way you like. By doing this way, we do not need to memorize any of this organic compound. So that's all for me for today. I hope you have learned about alkene, and we will continue to learn in the next about physical properties of alkene and some chemical properties. For those who are first time, please subscribe my video. I hope you will learn something and enjoy my lesson. Thank you. See you again.